Today we're going to work on this card that I've made. I've added a lot of different sequins and ribbon and things to it, so I would call it a mixed media card. It has a greeting on the inside. It has a lot of layers on the outside. So let's get started. First, I'm using Tim Hortons Distress ink and Distressed Oxide ink and Distressed Oxide and another one. And these are going to be my colors that I'm going to put on my card front. I have cardstock for the size of an A2 card. I also have postage stamp die cut from waffle flour. Here it is here. And then we have the, I think they call it a trellis die from Spellbinders. And I like it. I like the effect it gives on cards, and I like to put it behind certain parts of my card. It just gives it a nice layered effect. And when you cut these out with the die cut, sometimes it's very hard to get all the little pieces of paper that you've cut that didn't totally cut. So sometimes I will put it through my machine twice and see if that helps. And then other times I just kind of have to poke them out. But I work really hard to do that. And so I've learned how to do this little trick where you just take your sharp tool and gently go down each part of the trellis, and it'll poke them out quicker. And then on the back, you can just rub that off when it pokes out on the back. I'm going to use my gel mat to keep my card in place as I do the Distress and the Distress Oxide ink. Here you see me still, that's how I do the waffle flour postage stamp. I love this collection. There's a whole lot of different things you can do with it. So I'm really getting used to it and enjoying working with it. And you'll see some other things on my channel if you continue to watch me. And I hope you do. So I'm going to finish that off camera and come back with a completed one. And here I'm just using my inks to so first I'm going to start with my yellow distress ink, and I'm just kind of gently using my brush and brushing over the bottom of the card in one place. If you want it darker, you can continue to dip it in the in the distress ink and then put it on your card. And I gently go through that several times with all of my colors. I'm going to add some green next, and this is a wonderful way to add mystery, dimension, and all of that to your cards. So I love doing this. Then I'm going to add the blue. I think that's peacock blue. I'll have these listed so that you'll know what colors I'm actually using. And I'll have the that at the end of my video. So I'm using, I think it's peacock, but anyway, I'm using it. And I kind of rub over the yellows just so that it blends in. And then I'm going to go to another color. The next one is, let's see, another green. And I'm going to put that like right, fill in the places that are blank and rub it in gently. And see how that blends well with all of those other shades. So I do like that a lot. And you'll be surprised at the different things you can come up with when you use all these different colors. I also use my, I have a color card that I use with this card to show some of the colors that go together. And I will introduce that in another video. But just know that it's great if you have a color wheel, a color card, All of that is helpful when you're trying to decide on colors to use on your card. And it just helps it blend well. And there's some colors we really know that we don't need to use together, so this helps. So now I'm going to attach my cover to my card. I've put double-sided tape on the back so that I can have a smooth layer for the front of the card. And I also cut out some stamp shapes to use to decorate the front of my card. So here I'm putting my trellis in the card, and I kind of cat-a-cornered it, made it a little different. I like the way that is, so I'm going to keep it that way. Then I layered some yellow cardstock on top of the trellis, and then I put a couple of stamp cutouts on the card, but I also used the distress ink on those too. And I used foam tape underneath to give it a little bit of a dimension underneath the cutout cards. Next, I'm using some sequins and studs to decorate the front of my card. And that helps it look shiny and glittery. And I like a lot of shiny in my cards too. So I'm enjoying doing this. And I just use a little dab of glue. And I have a pickup tool that I use all the time to help place them. It's called Quick Stick by We Are Memory Keepers. And here I have a blue piece I put on this card because I'm making several cards at one time. So I did transition to a different color here. And it's just what you feel. You just get in there and start decorating. I'm using some, I guess they call it like twine or paper twine to make a bow. And I'm going to fix the bow to the front of the card and cut off the edges that are sticking out. And there you go. Now you can add a sentiment, and you can add anything else you want that you think will look nice.